Hi, I'm Kevin. Nice to see you again. I'm getting ready to head outside, so if you'd like to see the good, the bad, and the ugly here at Clover Hill, well, please take a walk with me. And away we go. All right, here's the house. It was built in 1826. Here's my bedroom on the second floor. Here's the dining room wing. And here is the music room wing, which we can't really see because there is a giant PG hydrangea blocking our view. And I can tell you that foundation plantings can be wonderful, but not when they obscure windows. So I will be cutting this hydrangea back very soon. Let's move on to the garden gate. Boy, it is very windy here today, and we've had no rain in weeks. Oh, before we open the gate, I want you to see this 200 or 300-year-old beech tree. We were told it is one of the oldest beech trees in New York State. I absolutely love it. And here's the garden gate. And here's the boxwood garden. When we purchased this house in 2002, this whole area was paved with asphalt. It was a parking lot. And I had all of that asphalt dug up, and then I planted 190 yews, and they were just tiny little things in like, oh, I don't know, half-gallon pots. And boy, did they grow. Here's one of the fountains, one of two fountains, which I purchased online. I think they came from New Mexico. And here is the boxwood, which right now is grossly overgrown. But the good news is that I rented a gas-powered hedge trimmer and a gentleman who knows how to use the gas-powered hedge clipper. Did I say hedge mower? It's a hedge clipper. Anyway, he's coming tomorrow, and he is going to shear and shape all of the boxwood here. And I think I told you in a previous video that I grew most of this boxwood just from cuttings, because there is no way that I could have afforded to make all of these hedges from full-grown shrubs. Anyway, the boxwood roots in like 6 to 8 weeks. Very easy plant to propagate. And in the boxwood beds are mostly David Austin roses. And we're still early in the season, so not much is in bloom just yet. And here, right in front of the steps, are two weeping red jade crabapple trees. We received these trees, they were very small at the time, as a wedding gift from a friend. And the card attached said, "For your wedding, I thought I should give you crabs." Let's move on. Going up the steps, another fountain, more roses, one of them in bloom over here. Let me see if I can zoom in. This, I believe, is David Austin's Mary Rose. And over here is a clematis climbing its little tutor. If we continue on, We come to a little foundation wall that I built around this ancient silver-leaved maple. See if we can go way up. It's an enormous tree, and its neighbor is an oak tree. Climbing the steps, and here it's very littered right now because we've had huge windstorms. So it has a lot of the little helicopters from the maple trees. Yeah, it's very littered. Anyway, it's a bluestone path that a friend and I laid down several years ago, just the two of us. And the path leads to a trio of white pines. Here they are. I cut an opening in the pines in order to produce the view beyond. Here's some more bluestone steps that lead to one of the gates to the pool garden, and we will be visiting that garden today. Here's a row of arborvitae, and when I planted these, they were just, I think 5 or 6 feet tall. They are now minimum 20 feet tall. Carry on. Here we have a couple more steps between two cast iron urns. And here is a row of Thuja Green Giant. Thuja Green Giant is terrific for privacy because it grows 3 to 5 feet a year. So you can have an enormous privacy hedge in no time at all. And then when we turn the corner, boom! Here's the kitchen garden. And here is Viburnum cayuga, which was in bloom very recently. Gee, it's too bad I didn't shoot this video 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh well. More boxwood. And I know we saw this garden last week, but let's just have a quick look inside. Here's the butternut squash, which has grown dramatically, and it's getting ready to climb this cattle panel trellis where it will grow up the side and meet its butternut squash mate. And here at another cattle panel are the pole beans I planted. And I had very poor germination because I planted the seeds too early. For the best germination with pole beans, you want to plant them when the soil temperature is around 70 degrees. I planted mine when the temperature was about 60 degrees. Then anyway, most of the seeds have germinated. I planted some more seeds in here recently. We'll see how they do. And on the other side, I have more pole beans, and something has been eating the leaves. And I did dust the leaves with diatomaceous earth, thinking that it might be an arthropod that's eating the leaves, but I see the chewing has continued, so I guess not arthropods. Anyway, this bed, I weeded out this bed and only left the Snapdragons seedlings. Yeah, I planted Snapdragons, the giant, I think they're called rocket Snapdragons, the giant type, in this bed last year. And now I have loads of volunteers, and I'm going to put them at the ends of these narrow beds over here. And here I have some zinnias that are being chewed up, possibly by a woodchuck, I do not know. But I will probably have to pull these zinnias out and put the snapdragons there. Good thing about snapdragons is that they are members of the salvia family, and woodchucks and rabbits do not like salvia, so they leave snapdragons alone. Here are some dwarf snapdragons. Here's another group. There's a rose-colored one, and a magenta-flowered one, and a pink-blossomed one. And here are the tomatoes getting ready to ascend their 7-foot A-frame trellis. And I have my gloves here and some scissors and some Velcro tape, because tomorrow I'm going to start tying the vines to the trellis. But I'll do another video on that because I have a lot more to say about tomatoes. Here's the garlic, the hardneck garlic, which I'm happy to say is making its garlic scapes. These things. And I think, as I mentioned before, garlic scapes make the best pesto in the world. And I will be filming the garlic scape video, pesto video for you. And you do want to cut off the scapes because cutting them encourages the bulbs below to continue to grow. And behind the garlic I have Brussels sprouts and another butternut squash, which will grow up yet another cattle panel trellis. Yeah, 2020 is the year of the cattle panel. For me, anyway. And here's another butternut squash and some broccoli. And the broccoli is growing really well. In fact, it has already started to make its main head. And here's some onions. And I have more onions elsewhere. Here are the potatoes, and they are growing really well. I've been hilling them with this chopped or shredded straw. Shredded straw is a terrific material for hilling potatoes. Soil is very good too. Here are more onions. These are my storage onions. And more Brussels sprouts. And in this bed is a great big heartbreak. Let me show you what's happening. Look at my poor broccoli. Something's been eating it. Something's been eating the Brussels sprouts too, but only from this bed. I wonder why. Anyway, I have more broccoli and Brussels sprout seedlings to replace them. And here's the giant lovage that has given me a lot of greenery for salads. And the asparagus bed. I'm letting the asparagus go to fern now. And you want to do that some point during the growing season, because the asparagus ferns end up feeding the roots below so that you can have a gorgeous asparagus crop the following year. Okay, exiting the kitchen garden. To make sure the gates are closed and latched, keep the deer out. And here are hemlocks that are framing the pool garden. Let's go inside. Yeah, we've actually been swimming since May 21st. The water then was bitterly cold, but we are polar bears. The water is quite nice now. It's probably about 80 degrees or maybe warmer. So we've been swimming every day. I was in this pool at 5 o'clock this morning. Let's say hello to the statues. Oh, and let me show you the hemlocks. Okay. Here is a scantily clad Ms. Summer, and she is holding a sheaf of wheat. And here is also scantily clad Ms. Summer, or rather Ms. Autumn, and she is holding a bunch of grapes that she has just harvested. And here is the lecherous satyr. I think satyrs were soldiers in, oh, who was the god of wine? Bacchus. So they were soldiers in Bacchus's army in Greek mythology. I think. I haven't studied Greek mythology since I was in the 8th grade. That was 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, we can move along. Let's go visit another garden. Let me show you the view. We're up pretty high. Here's the house, and it is a house of many roofs. Not the house of 7 gables, just the house of many roofs. And down below is another food garden. This is my teeny tiny herb garden, and I think we'll visit that too. Okay, here's the entrance to the herb garden. There's an arbor, and growing up the arbor is a clematis, which for the first time ever has decided to bloom. And I don't remember the variety, but the flowers are this pale, almost denim blue. Really lovely. So there are four 4x6 raised beds in this garden. In this bed we have Savoy cabbage planted at each end, and boy, this cabbage is growing like crazy right now. It'll be heading up very soon. And I will use the cabbage for any number of things, including cabbage steaks, but I will mostly use it for sauerkraut that I can enjoy all winter long. And I will post that recipe for you. Or rather, I will film that recipe for you. Here are some snow peas growing up this bamboo teepee trellis that I made for them. And I tied some jute twine, you know, starting at the bottom and working my way up, just so that the tendrils over here would have something to latch onto. And in this next bed are pod peas, and they are busy making their flowers. Yay! I'm going to have pod peas. But boy, have they been slow, like molasses, because it was so cold here throughout most of May. But they finally took off. And here again I made another very simple bamboo teepee trellis for them. And I just tied all the sticks together with jute twine. And here is cilantro. Would you believe that I used to hate cilantro? And then I grew into it. Love it now. And here is one of many dill volunteers, which I'm happy to have because I will use the dill. Love it on salmon. Here's more flat leaf parsley. Yeah, I use a lot of parsley. It too makes a terrific pesto all by itself. Just mix it with garlic, olive oil, and either pine nuts or almonds, and Parmesan cheese. Delicious. I have some scallions in here too, or you might know them as green onions. And then in this bed, I have the lettuce bar. And boy, am I grateful to have fresh greens to eat. I mean, I had the lovage up in the kitchen garden. Let me show you how far we are from the kitchen garden. There it is. Yeah, because of the pandemic, I didn't even want to buy salad greens from the supermarket. We were told to wash all of our fruits and vegetables with soap and water. Well, how do you wash baby arugula with soap and water? Not easily, I suspect. Anyway, what I have here is, let me show you, green romaine, mizuna, which sadly is starting to bolt. It's making its flowers, which means it will soon go to seed. And I will have to pull out all of the mizuna. But that's okay because I will replace it with something else. Here's red romaine over here. And here is red oak leaf lettuce. The leaves are very tender. I really love them. You probably have all of this lettuce in your own garden. Here's frizzy, another lovely lettuce green with serrated leaves. This is terrific for a frizzy salad with bacon lardons and a poached egg. And here are the chives, now in bloom. Blooms are beautiful. I will be cutting this plant back. I will use the blossoms for chive blossom vinegar, which is one of the loveliest condiments ever. Terrific for salad dressing. If you have chive blossom vinegar, all you need is some olive oil. You don't need any other seasonings for the dressing. Here's some radishes and some more green onions or scallions. And then in the center of the garden is Supertunia Bordeaux. And I love Supertunias because they are self-cleaning. You do not have to deadhead them. And all they need is plenty of water when the weather is hot. And I do have this on a drip system. And then once a week, I feed it with a water-soluble plant food. It's a very fragrant Supertunia. Well, I think they're all fragrant. And here on the back wall, I have a couple of hanging baskets with Calibracoa. I can never say that name. Calibracoa. And this blue variety is called Cabaret Deep Blue. Let's see if we can get a close-up. Yeah, Cabaret Deep Blue. And the pink is called Kabloom Deep Pink. I think the blue and pink make a very nice combination. And I think I'm going to feed my Supertunia Bordeaux right now. So let me show you how I do that. Yeah, to feed the Supertunia and the Calibracoa, I use This Jack's Blossom Booster. It's a high phosphorus plant food. Phosphorus encourages blooms. I use this for my African violets too. Well, I use it for all of my flowering plants, both indoors and out. And what you do is add 1 tablespoon of the water-soluble food to 1 gallon of water. I'm using a teaspoon here, so I need, and 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. And we want 1 tablespoon of the food. Into the water you go. Pop the lid on, because you want to keep this dry. Give it a shake to mix. Yeah, you simply add the food as if you were watering the plant. You want to do this thoroughly. I think that's thorough. And I'm going to do the same for the hanging baskets. Now, can you possibly handle one more garden? Bear with me. So the next garden is called the Serpentine Garden, but before we go there, I want you to notice how steep this hill is. It is so steep that one summer the lawn mowing dude rolled his tractor down the hill 3 times in 1 month, and his boss had to come with a truck and a chain and tow him out. So I said, enough is enough. So I designed this kind of cool and very shady hillside garden. Have a look. Yeah, so what we did was terrace this hill with field stone. I bought several pallets of stone. They were not all that expensive. And the entrance is marked by yet another pair of cast iron urns. I'm really into urns, people. Urns and cattle panels. Yeah, those are my things. And the steps. And I had to argue with the guy who was working with me because he wanted to make a very steep ascent. And I said no, because when I'm 80 years old, I want to be able to climb this path. So none of the steps have a rise greater than, I think, 3 or 4 inches. And over here on the left is witch hazel. It's the winter flowering witch hazel, which means it blooms in February no matter how frigid the weather. There can be 3 feet of snow on the ground and this baby will bloom. The flowers are orange and fragrant. Very nice thing to have in the depths of winter. And then here on the second terrace, I have underplanted a dwarf crabapple tree with vinca minor. And this vinca minor was a sea of blue flowers a couple of weeks ago, which is exactly when I should have filmed this video. And there's more vinca minor on this side. Here's a hemlock. Here's another crabapple. It's a taller variety. And here is a bench beneath a Yoshino cherry tree. I brought this tree home in my little Toyota Corolla. That's how small the tree was when it entered my little world here. Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite garden of all. And I sometimes sit on this bench really early in the morning and I'll have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And in the evening I might sit here with a glass of wine. And it's always shady here because of the hemlocks and the crabapple trees. And there's a row of dwarf lilac over here that's in bloom, but it's getting a little dark now. In fact, I probably don't need these sunglasses on. But I wanted to tell you thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Over 1,000 people have subscribed in just the last 28 days. I am amazed. I am grateful. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And what else did I want to say? Oh yes, I wanted to tell you that I love you. And again, thank you for coming and having a little walk in the garden with me. I will see you very soon, probably with a recipe. Okay, bye-bye for now.